Hey guys, Derrick Hall here, and I just wanted to sit down and have a chat and talk about a little bit of an opinion on something. At this point in time, some 30 odd years on, the movie The Princess Bride is an absolute classic. I don't know very many people who don't like it, and that's good. I like it. I hope you do too. And I would even argue that The Princess Bride is in some ways a perfect movie. Yeah, I said it. Hear me out. First thing on this list of perfect movie points is that for once in the history of mankind, the movie is better than the book. Hot take, right? The movie is better than the book. I have read the book and I have watched the movie, and that book has issues. It's too long, it's dry, there's too many details taking away from the pacing and the characters, and I would even say that the plot isn't even that good. Especially when you put it next to its movie. With the movie, you have really rich characters, the pacing is right, there's not too many details to draw it out and make it boring, and that's what the book tends to do. And nothing against the book, it was a great book at the time, it's perfectly fine for classical fantasy, but it doesn't really hold up, especially in light of its film counterpart. Number 2, it's adorably campy. The Princess Bride, as a movie, is adorably campy. In the 80s, when they made this film, it was low budget, even by low budget standards, and they had to do everything they could to cut costs. Wardrobes are very simple. They almost don't change for the various characters. You don't have a whole lot of huge name actors involved in this, and that's okay. There's a lot of little things that are slightly too convenient or a little undercooked with the movie that just kind of add to its charm. A couple of quick examples. In the duel between Wesley and Inigo at the top of the Cliffs of Despair, which the names in this book just crack me up, but in that duel there's a very convenient trapeze bar built into the set for no reason whatsoever other than for two main characters on screen at that point to show off to each other. There's no reason for it to be there, it's not part of the structure of whatever these ruins used to be, it's just there. It's a little convenient. And related to that, on the undercooked side of things, and there's nothing wrong with this, Doctor Who did it for years and people still love it, but when they jump off of that trapeze bar, you can see the pad in the floor, just barely covered with a sprinkle of dirt. And to me, it's things like this, and the styrofoam rocks, and the obviously spray-painted sets, and things like that. You can see it, and it draws the viewer into the mindset of a stage production. Stage productions, for the most part, have fallen out of favor in the popular media circles. There's a few exceptions, and you always have your theater nerds. Guilty. But for the most part, it's not a popular thing anymore. And something that will bring that back into the mainstream, even in a small way, is a really good thing. But stage, by its very nature, because you are limited to what you can do practically at the time, every night, repeatably, on set, or in this case on stage, has a sort of campy charm to it inherently. And that's what this movie manages to tap into. So, yeah, it's not flashy, and no, it didn't hold up that great, but it's still a lot of people's favorites, or very high on their list, because it has that sort of charm to it that cannot be replaced. Third thing, I could not see this movie having been cast any other way. It could not have been done better. Mandy Patinkin and Andre, R.I.P., these characters were played so perfectly by the actors that were cast for them that trying to replace them with anyone else of that era, or even of the modern era, is practically impossible. It cannot be done. You would ruin the movie. That being said, classical romance, swords, the six-fingered man, and all that wonderfulness, and it's a classic. I hope you like it as much as I do, and even if you didn't, maybe this will help you go back and look at it in a slightly different light and help you enjoy it a little bit more. So I appreciate you listening, and I'll see you guys around. Derrick Hall signing off.